little football spirit in there. We had people buying reserved seats that never had bought one. But so it did. It was. I witnessed all that year.
Yes, it was a fantastic year. I remember it because I was teaching at that time. But it just seemed like they were our team. The community kind of adopted them. Whether you knew any of them or not, that was not important. They were representing us, and we supported them 150%.
Well, that's right. And these kids. I keep calling them kids. These players, they picked up on that. Mm-hmm. They knew they had a job to do on Friday night to keep that together. The fact that there were so many people backing them and supporting them, not only their mother and daddy. I'm talking about people that a lot of people went to Jarline Stadium that year, Carol, that had never been.
No.
Didn't even know where it was at. And I think our boys picked up on that. We had great crowds, and the band got into it, and it was just they created an atmosphere, and everything was better actually on Monday morning when we went back to school. Our student
it was
body,
happier.
Yeah, our student body was happy.
Right. I used to liken that year to go into a Georgia game or something because it just seemed like the atmosphere surrounded you that year in football, and it surrounded the football team. What about the Trojan Award for that season?
Well, we came up with that. That was we knew it was kind of like, we started it when I came from Manchester. We had the Blue Devil Award.
Right.
It's kind of like the Heisman Trophy. You want a top award to go to a top player, and the thing is that I didn't select it. The boys voted on it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they sat down and did a handwritten vote who they thought should get it, and of course then the coaching staff met, and then we would either overturn it or either give it to. But it was a running back called Andre Putwood
Smith. Yes.
And a lot of people ask me, said, why did you name him Putwood? I said, I didn't do it. Walter Huckabee did it. Walter Huckabee gets that credit. And I don't know how it came about, but the funny thing is, his mother even called him Putwood. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
She picked up on it, and she took great pride in it. Now, his brother, Anthony Smith, I named him Chainsaw, and that went over real big with the mother and
everybody else.
Because he was a chainsaw on the field.
Yes, he was. He was. What leadership qualities stood up on this team? You mentioned Harold Ragsdale as quarterback. Were there any?
Yeah, I think that he was. It's like the quarterback should be the leader. It's like in 1976 when we had Greg Walker at quarterback. Right. He was the ultimate leader. Harold was a quiet leader, performance-wise. He just performed. The kids had great respect for him. But we had Darren Westenfield, who was an offensive lineman, he took the leadership role. He was over the offensive line, Then we had Terry Robinson over on defense that assumed that role, trying to get them to come on the show. So it pretty much spread out.
That's good.
Different guys did different things.
One of my memories of that season was that they were like brothers, even if they weren't brothers. I remember them in mass. If you saw KG, you saw Ricardo, you saw Willis, they were always together. Not just on the football field, everywhere they went.
I think Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon. Yeah, you're right. They were a very close-knit group, and I think, having played football myself, you have to have that.
Yeah.
You can't have any antagonistic forces within your football team because they're not going to perform.
Right.
And they picked one another up, supported one another, and that's what created that friendship and respect.
I had a friend one time that told me that a good football team was like a military unit. You go together whether you go up or you go down. But I saw that in this class. No matter what was going on, whether it was good or bad or they were scared, they were together You never broke the ranks. And I really, to me, that's just the epitome of high school football, that season.
Well, it was, and what you witnessed, you're absolutely correct in what you observed. You very much so, and that back then, so school started like September, like after Labor Day, so we would load up, and go to camp. We'd have a week of camp, and the thing at camp is crash football, and we're going to put it together right there. But by the same time, they ate together. They practiced together, they showered together, they became one.
That's right.
And that was the good thing about camps, besides fundamentals, and stuff like that. So, and getting off the subject, there's a big move now of coaches on Georgia to get rid of summer football.
Ooh, no.
And let's go back to fall football, The kids are starting practice August the 1st, playing the 20th of August.
Well, it's so hot.
Coaches are having to be real careful.
Right.
They really are. So, but that was the way it was, and it just wasn't as hot. We could do more things.
Right. And then too, kids, if they do anything, a job or something during the summer, they're really limited with what they can do. But that's another show we'll do another time. Because we can solve a lot of problems that way. I can tell you that. Anything else that stands out about that football team?
No, it's in the memory of Douglas, Coffee County, and it'll always be there. And these boys, I'm sure they're very proud of what they did. They're still, to this day, they're very proud of what they did and what they accomplished. First time ever beating Valdosta.
Right.
And they broke the ice and sent Coffee on its way sailing. And even to this team this year, that maybe has some influence on this team,
Because they were kids.
It's called tradition.
That's right. And it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
When we were putting this exhibit together, I asked Willis Crockett to bring me some things from his athletic career. And he said, well, I've got some Trojan stuff and all this. I said, well, Willis, what about the Dallas Cowboys? He says, oh, I don't talk about that. I said, you got to talk about it, because I hated the Dallas Cowboys till you played for them.
Yeah.
But that's the way this team was. They didn't walk around beating on their chest telling you what and all they did. They were proud, and you could see that pride, but they weren't braggarts.
Right.
It was just amazing. And you had so many from this class go on to universities to play football. And that speaks a lot for their talent and their academics.
It does. And we had quad A back of the year in the state of Georgia, in Pupwood, and that named by the Atlanta Journal and Constitution. Of course, he scholarshiped up to Georgia and was getting off to a great career up there. But it was like you said, they were just so much pride, and I think even to this day they are. I see these guys quite often, and they want to talk. They want
Don't talk about it.
They want to talk about it right away. Yeah.
I think when I was in high school, if we won one game a year, we were all excited. Okay, but what I noticed with what I call the sideline coaches, those that never played football but they know all the answers, was everything was positive. Did you feel that? Did you feel the positive feedback as a coach, or did you just kind of hone it off?
I turned it off. You have to. You can't let stuff like that get to you when everything you're doing is such a public, thing, and in the eye, and just like in a mirror and spotlight and whatever. But you have to look. A coach has to condition himself to stiff arm it and put it over here. Don't let the criticism get to you. Don't let the whatever, if you have anything going bad. But and I'm sure that there's a lot of people had gotten that way because of the poor record that was here in Coffee, like what you just said. But it's human nature. It's human nature for critics to pop up when things are not going good.
All the time. All the time. Well, I'm going to mention another topic here that kind of related. I've been talking, since this exhibit, I've had a lot of people in that used to play ball and that kind of thing. And one of the things that they keep saying was football changed. In the 50s and the 60s, you played, you had a good time. It was nothing serious because you knew you didn't have an option to do that when you graduated. They played, but they were not conditioned. The weight room was a joke. I mean, of course, you know that because of conditioning when you got here. Did you see a change from Manchester to Douglas and through the years with the way football and athletes progressed?
Oh, 100 miles of it, yes, it's changed. The offenses have changed, the coaches are more sophisticated, they got more equipment now like video and films and stuff like that they can go visit some college, just like I went to the University of Delaware to learn their offense from Tubby Raymond up there, to what they call the Delaware Wing T. Coaches are doing that now, sitting in their office because of technology. Every school has got a $1 million weight room. Yes, super weight rooms. Our equipment right here is second to none now. We have got a super weight room. But yes, it's changing. It's changing. And I think that football in the United States is getting popular and more popular.
Oh, yes.
You know, they're on TV almost every night now. But kids are catching up on that. Our kids are catching up on it. They know that Jardine Stadium will be packed on Friday night, so I want to give it my best.
That's right. That's right. Fantastic. Bobby Bowden was interviewed on a program one time, and he said, football is a religion in the South. Every Friday night in the South, you're at a football game. And at my house, when the SEC starts, you're at home if you're not at the game, and you're there all day long watching football. My daddy sometimes wonders if we've all lost our mind because we stick so close. But I mean, it's been ingrained, and it's something that we came up doing even when we had bad years. You never missed a game. And some of those people that bought season tickets still have them, and they will keep them.
Keep them, yeah.
Because they may go. Their grandkids go. For my instance now, my grandchildren use them more than I do. But I mean, still, they're supported, and that's good.
Put your season ticket in your will.
There you go. There you go. That's what I need to do. One more thing. How many years did you coach in Coffee County? Both times?
26.
26. Somebody said, well, why have you got Baltimore Royals picture up there? I said, he's the only man I know that can keep the men in this county that back football at peace. For any coach to last that long in a community in South Georgia is a miracle.
Yeah. There were some tough times. There were some tough times.
That makes the good times better, though, when you survive the tough times.
There were some tough times.
Would you have anything else you'd like to add about that season?
No, Carol, I think that we pretty well covered it. I just wish we had time maybe to call out 50 or 60 boys' names, but we don't.
No.
But they know who they are, and that's all that matters. So, but it was just a great season and a great memory, and accomplished a lot and did a lot for this town.
It sure did. And you too. And thank you so much for being here today. And we're so glad you came to visit with us, and we're going to have you back.
Okay, deal.
WDTV 13. Programming is sponsored by
Vickers Audio and Glass Tinting, supporting our local programming on WDTV 13. Storage Solutions, etc., locally owned and operated and located at 1010 Bowens Mill Road, Southeast in Douglas. American Truck Parts Incorporated, a proud sponsor of WDTV 13 programming. Harper & Company Builders, serving Douglas and Coffee County for 29 years. And a proud sponsor of community programming.
Aiden's Minute Market. When you're out, we're in.
Roscoe Allen Jr. and Gubas Modular Buildings in Ocilla, Georgia. we proudly support local programming on WDTV 13. Dewey Hayes Jr., attorney at law, selected to the top 100 trial lawyers